Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome to our final session of Devign Talks, Ingenious Ways to work smarter, faster, and healthier. This is week 6. We've had 9 great talks with us, and I'm glad that all of you could join us at this end of the year. Many of you are recovering from food comas, hangovers, time with family. So we're very grateful that you are here with us. I'm Ron Au, one of the moderators for the web dev community, and with me is Bibo, one of the administrators. And yeah, once again, we're just so grateful that you've been with us these 6 weeks, that you've been able to ask questions, engage with our speakers, and learn from them. Our last one will just be one talk. It'll be a little bit longer than a lightning talk, a little bit shorter than a full-length talk, but we thought it'll be a great way to wrap up because it'll be for lazy developers. And my hand, that's definitely one of mine. Before we get into the talk, we just want to talk a little bit about why we had this event series. We know that our Reddit web dev community, r/webdev, that's 1 million users. Our web design one, that's about 500,000. On Discord, we have 30,000 members. We have a lot of people, a lot of developers, and that's a lot of experience. And a lot of those folks, it'd do well for them to share that experience with us. And yet they may not have much experience speaking, and they may not have much of a platform to speak. But given that we have this very unique platform, we have this great community, great people who know each other and want to see each other's work, we thought, why not get them to tell us what they know, share their experiences, share their perspectives that we would otherwise sit untapped. So we didn't mind if people didn't have any speaking experience before. We didn't mind if they were even nervous about speaking live. We wanted to give them the support. We wanted to give them the platform. We wanted to give them the money to encourage them to speak for the first time, because who knows, 10 years from now, or even just a week from now, they might be giving another talk that'll blow your socks off. Maybe in these last 6 weeks, they've only blown, the little bit of that sock off, but they'll get there. And I'm sure all of you have appreciated the insight and advice they've given. So this week, we'll actually have our youngest speaker here. Saurabh is only 17 years old, but we'll speak more about him soon. And we'll just run you through some housekeeping with Bibo. Thank you.
Hi, caught me off with my pants down. I was
That
chatting
was
with the live discussion, and then I had myself muted, so I didn't want to start talking yet. So
busy.
let's finish the talk series off strong with some quick housekeeping items. So if you haven't already, join us on discord.gg/web. There's a wonderful channel there with a green button on it that says live. It's the live discussion channel. If you join us there and participate throughout the talk, you'll be eligible to win a Discord Nitro subscription. And then 3 users will be chosen to win Reddit Premium at the end of the talks. So be sure to stay active throughout. In the live discussion, not only will you say hi to me, but you will also be able to talk with one another about the discussions. And you'll also be able to ask questions, which I'll curate throughout the talk, and then we'll have a quick Q&A session with Saurabh at the end of the talk today. So with no further delay, I'll hand it back to Ron to introduce our first speaker for today, and only speaker for today.
That is right. Thank you, Bibo. Well, like I said earlier, our only speaker today is 17 years old, and the topic, the title of his talk is Ultimate Toolkit for a Lazy React Developer in 2021. And that's only 4 more days of that, so I'm sure he'll have much to say about 2022 as well. But what I like is the fact that we all know we prefer to work smarter than harder, and who better to hear that from than a lazy developer? Well, welcome on board, Saurabh.
Hey everyone,
Howdy doody. How are you today?
I'm nice.
You're nice. We believe you. It's a sunny 11:30 p.m. at night for you, isn't it?
Yes,
Thank you for joining us at this time. How do you feel about giving your very first talk?
I'm feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel there's a lot of info that I can provide to other developers who feel lacking behind. So yeah.
Absolutely. Some of our other speakers, they're experts in JavaScript, or they're experts in DevOps, or they're experts in freelancing. Uh, what makes you an expert in being lazy?
So, I'm primarily a full stack developer. I'm specializing in the front end for the past 3 years, and like always on that lookout for a great new awesome tool, a great. And I work on a lot of side projects, many side projects across years. So every time I create those side projects, I'm always like, I have to now repeat this thing again and again for every one of my projects. Like repeat this thing, and I hope there can be a better developer experience, a better awesome tool that can help me out with that or reduce that overload or repeatedness. So yeah, that's the reason why always look out for amazing technology, amazing tool. And that's why I think after discovering some amazing tools, I can share with among other peoples who might find useful too.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, we've seen your outline and a lot of the stuff I hadn't actually even seen before. We know a lot of you watching are big fans of React, so we hope you'll enjoy this talk as well. Saurabh, we'll let you take it away.
Okay. Just wait a minute. Slides. Share screen and screen two. Hey everyone, yes, you can see on the screen. Hey, welcome to all of you for coming to my talk. Thank you so much. I hope you all having a great time with your families and everyone, and hope you had a great Christmas, I guess. Thank you so much for the Web Divine Talks and Web Design and Development for giving this great opportunity for providing my talk. A little bit about myself. I'm Saurabh Gupta, or you can call me Dino Saurabh. I'm a full stack developer, but specializing as a front end developer for the past 3 years. A little things that excite me. I work on many side projects across years, and I really love creating side projects. I love exploring new tools that I will discuss about in this talk. Some amazing tech tools I found this year, and other side things. I love voxel and pixel art and fantasy art. So the title of this talk is How to Become a Lazy React Developer in 2021/2022. So I want to emphasize on this word lazy. Like, what do I mean by lazy here? So what I mean by lazy here is using great awesome technologies to your advantage. And don't think it's as a procrastinating or something. Like, as I said, I'm always on this drive of finding new technologies that can make life easier, that can improve my existing workflow, and like just remove every frustrating obstacle so that I can focus on creating apps and solving problems rather than not. So the problem is that understanding right tools for the right jobs, like developers as like really skip on this and don't focus on this. It is really important to understanding right tools for the right jobs. Sometimes you like use a very complex technologies for a really basic thing, etc., like that. And second is curiosity for exploring new tools. If you find yourself still using that technology you used 5 years ago, I'm not saying it was bad, but maybe there are better solutions today. So to complete this whole talk, I will break down into different sections. I will introduce you with some awesome technologies, amazing libraries that I have found this year that hopefully will encourage you to try them out yourself and make your current stack or developing apps more easier. And I will be introducing them in your respective type, like a state management library or a styling library. A quick heads up, who is this talk for? Someone who has a basic understanding of React will be pretty awesome, or above than that. Someone who want to explore more tools other than what might be he's using today, and someone who might feel left behind and want to know about modern ecosystem. Coming up with the main framework, NEXTJS. So, about the NEXTJS, it will be around React, of course, but there is a better choice than the React itself that you can use. That is NEXTJS. And if you don't know what NEXTJS is, think of this as a removing headaches or work and plus giving you awesome tools and features. Like think of this like that way, or you can just refer it to the official description that is given on the nextjs.org website. So what is so awesome about nextjs? So I want to introduce like what your typical React project looks like. So your typical React project has these features like routing, that every now and then, like every React project that you might create, you will end up working on them too, end up creating the same setup again and again for every one of your projects, like routing, like ESLint and prettier setup, like your Babel and Webpack plugins, that like adding all those plugins that you used previously and just use in most of your all of your projects, adding those again and doing the production bundling of your application, perform production bundling. So it is amazing experience for your users, doing other different performance optimizations like caching and adding a backend API. Like if you need a backend API, you might create a like entire folder or entire projects for your backend of your application. If you even need a simple backend API, that's what your typical React project may look like. But this is where Next.js comes up. It just removes all these abstractions, and already all this abstraction that you were facing, all these problems, that all this same code that you had to write all of your projects, it is already given to you already. Or and maybe it will be or just a one line or two line away from you. It will be very simplified to you, and all these abstractions, complications will be just removed from you. This is what is an awesome DX developer experience. And not only just that, it will provide more awesome features for you, like you can render your page in different techniques like static SSR or ISR, which is server-side rendering, and incremental static regeneration. If you don't know about it, you might know, you will know. Amazing features like fast refresh, which means that when you are coding live your application, you will it will preserve your state, so you don't have to reload your application again and again to see the changes, and it will preserve the state for yourself. And the other features like middleware, which are new introduced in Next 12, HTTP streaming, which is will be the part of React 18, and amazing features like image optimization, dynamic import, and URL imports. And not only just that, there's more awesome features that Next.js will provide. Like I can assure you, I can guarantee you that once you will learn Next.js and start using in your project, you will not regret it. Any level of React developer you are beginner or advanced level, any, it will just provide an amazing, awesome developer experience. For more info, if you want to learn Next.js, check out at nextjs.org. They have great, awesome documentation that will just help you out with the getting started with Next.js. And this last awesome thing, that's why I love Next.js, is Vercel. Now, Vercel is a parent company of who maintain Next.js itself, and their deployment service is awesome. You can deploy your Next.js app or any other application from like React, Angular, Vue, or a static in just minutes. That's why I love like Next.js so much, is because of this Next.js amazing deployment service and amazing framework built on top of React. Coming up with the next section, we have completed the main framework styling. Now, in this, I will introduce two more technologies. stitches and radix primitives that you might not know about previously. So, what is stitches? Think of this as a like style components, but better, in my opinion. The kind of differences that you can see coming up with the styling is that in style components, you will have string literals and then typed in styling that, but with stitches, you do with objects. And there's much more difference than that, but that is like the styling part of the difference. And here I have typed in some differences like stitches is very performant and half the bundle size compared to style components. Now, just a minute. I do not want to make this comparison like an impression of I am suggesting you to use stitches instead of style components. Like both are awesome, great technologies. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. And what stitches can do, style components can do that too for the most part. What I want to encourage you for is exploring more tools than what you might be using for the past years and see if it works for yourself. See if it making your core applications easier. And having both technologies for a long time myself, it is just my opinion that with stitches I had much great experience writing css in js, and you just have to try it out and see for yourself. Now I will go over two main features that stitches give out of the box. That's why I love stitches, for the reason. Also there's other awesome features like killer awesome documentation, css utilities. It gives server-side rendering out of the box, which integrates very well with NEXTJS. Okay, the more other features like theming with stitches. So you can theme out of the box. Here you can see I've imported create stitches function, and you can type in your theme. You can use your theme like this. Like here, notice here that if you want to use the background color from the theme you set in, you this enter this dollar sign and the name. This is just how easy it is to work with themes in stitches. It is a killer awesome developer experience. Another awesome feature I want to discuss is component variants. Like with style components, you might do just import the props like from a function from props dot colors, maybe. Yeah, that's how you do it. But with stitches, it is little bit different. You want to use variants. You use variants. So you enter the property name like bg color, then maybe will your prop, and then with the prop values that might be given, you want to change the styling of your component. Now that is really awesome, just out of the box. Now there is a one more big reason why I love stitches so much is because of radix primitives. Now radix is the whole, again, the parent company which also handles stitches, and they have two more different libraries like colors and icons, which I will not talk about in this talk. Stitches is one of their products, and they have something called radix primitives, which I'll discuss. Like, think about it. Mostly in all of your React applications, you create these basic interactive components like dialog, drop down menu, or popover. You mostly create those if you have a slightly more big application, and then you spend waste days or maybe hours in it, and then you end up making a really bad component out of really bad component. Now why I said you end up create bad component is for that I will highly recommend you to check out this talk from Pedro Dure. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. So titled "So You Think You Can Build a Drop Down." It is a highly recommended talk, and I I will wish you to check it out. So what does primitives solves is that all these basic components, there are many components like sliders, switch, drop down dialog, pop over, hover component. There's many of these components that will already be provided to you with Radix primitives, and they are fully accessible. Like if you know someone who creates accessible components, about how hard it is to create a good accessible components. Stitches gives you that out of the box. It will give you infinite, like easily flexible components. Like you can style them in any way. You can use them in many flexible different ways. It will not block you from having a limitation. They are awesomely easy to use. They have this very easy and killer documentation with demos, with what kind of features does it provides, all the prop types. They have very amazing clear documentation, and also you can customize them with stitches. You can customize its styles. That's why the both stitches and Radix primitives integrate so well that it has been my best CSS in JS tech I've found this year. I will highly recommend you to try it out. And there's two more awesome technologies I would like to introduce you is Chakra UI and Tailwind CSS. Now they're both different, both kind of have their own advantages and disadvantages. And if you don't want to like make your own, like most of the time I have just my own theme, so that's why I like more stitches plus Radix primitives. But if you are someone who want to skip, like breeze through the all the creating components, UI components, styling them, it is highly recommended to check out Chakra UI and Tailwind CSS and see which one you liked and which one works for you. You can create so quick components with them, like it's unbelievable. So we'll come up with our next section. Our next section is state management. Now this is like the most tricky to talk. This is where it becomes tough because it is hard to recommend someone to suggest someone about the state management library, because there is no one type solution there. It depends on the complexity of the application and the nature of the application itself. There's a lot of debate that go on for like years, but there's no one type solution for this. So here's like, so what I have made this simple page that you can refer to when you are creating a new project and want to use a state management. Now in the left side we have what you might be using for the already projects, like use state and use contacts. Now we call them internal state management, which means that it is already given by the framework itself, library itself, which is React. And then you most probably also use third-party solutions like Redux and Mobex. And then in the right side, we have some newer technical libraries, some newer state management libraries option that you can check out. Like they are really awesome. Okay, we have Zotai, Voltio, and ZUSTAND for managing global state. So interstate between multiple components, if you want to manage, they are good for small and medium scale applications. I will give you a small example with ZUSTAND about how easy it is to create a global state management with it, to manage global state with it. We have example of form state. Now, like if you have created multiple React projects, you probably know how tedious it is and how boring it is to manage form state itself. So I have great recommendations over there. I haven't tried it myself, but they look very promising and very good. Please check them out. They will only make your life easier. And here are some others for making a large scale application like Xstate and Recall. Now, I don't think this way that you can't use libraries that is provided on the left side, like use it and use contacts. That is why it is so hard to recommend technologies like If you know how to properly use state and use context in situations, you can make an entire a complex full-fledged state management solution with just internal state management solutions given by React itself, if you know how to correctly use them. That is why. Also, like if you think that your projects is more favoring the flux more state model, don't don't think, don't go into these other solutions. If you think that Redux is a better solution for you or Mobex is a better solution for you, try all of them out and see what works for yourself. This whole year, I for most of my projects I have worked with ZUSTAND. Now, ZUSTAND is this easy, like probably the most easy state management library for global state management, third-party solution. So this is a simple example of how you would create a global state with ZUSTAND. You import it and then you return this count. Now, I've imported this another library called immer2, but you don't have to. It is not necessary. I've just created for the convenience of immutable state. And then in the right side you can see how like just maybe like a use state, how easy it is to import state and then use it. It is all render optimized. All the optimizations are behind the scenes handled by ZUSTAND, so you don't have to worry about. Our last thing is data fetching. Now the problems about the data fetching in React itself is that you think that fetching data is just easy. You need just fetch component and save it to your global state and then use it, but there's a lot of behind performance optimizations that you lose, a lot of behind that you cost to the users. Like every time you reload the page, you will have to refetch your data if you haven't cached it to somewhere or properly cached it, the result itself. So here I will recommend you to check out swr.versal.app. It will solve those problems. It will do performance optimizations into your like fetching data behind the scenes without you have to only worry about, and you might not even know like how amazing performance optimization do behind the scene, like caching your results and then supporting suspenses and everything. So it is also like lightweight. Maybe it counts. So that is like they can right at right bottom you can see a simple example with you use SWR. So it also integrates very well with NEXTJS too. It supports SSR and SSG rendering. So if you don't know NEXTJS, you will know, and you will know how beneficial SWR library is for data fetching and how easy it makes data fetching too. Then you might be like saving it to the state or something. So here's a simple example, like it will already provide you if there's an error fetching the data, and if the data has arrived, you can return a specific result of the state of the fetching state of the data. And then yes, that's all it. I hope I finished it on time. Summing it up, I've also created this simple template where these with these three main technologies like NextJS, Stitches, and ZUSTAND. So if you are starting your new side projects or something, check this out and try this stack for yourself and see if it makes your life easier or more lazier. You can go to the link or just clone it right there, and then yes, there's also some different things given like immer for immutable state and TypeScript for type checking. SWR also is given. Bundle analyzer is for, so it helps you to analyze the bundle size of your application, so you can think about the performance for the end user. And yes, that's all it. Thank you for WebDivine for letting me give this talk. It was very amazing. And you can check out my other social links, dinosaur, name dinosaur everywhere. If you find dinosaur, it's most probably me. You can please ask me questions on Twitter if you have. And yeah, thank you very much. And now it's a Q&A time. So come at the discord.gg/web on live discussion channel and you can ask some questions.
Thank you, Saurabh, for giving us that talk. It was actually a great snapshot of all the different tools that someone who is a lazy React developer might consider. We're glad that someone could bring all that into one consolidated talk because we only have so much time to try new tools. By the time we finish learning one, there's another new kid on the block. So thank you for making that digestible for us. One first question I want to throw to you is, given that the title of yours is the ultimate toolkit for lazy React developers in 2021, and given that you said you're so keen on staying on the cutting edge or trying out new tools, especially if they make your life easier, with 4 days to go to 2022, what new fancy things do you think you're looking forward to in the new year?
So the next year, I want to try out in some databases solutions like Prisma. I was just starting to use that for my portfolio, but it isn't completed yet, so I will use for that Prisma. And also Blitz, which is a framework on top of NEXTJS, which um, should make life more easier.
So would you advise someone jump straight into Bliss if they were picking up, React frameworks for the first time, or would they learn Next first and then jump into Bliss?
No, I would recommend going for the NEXTJS first.
Okay.
It's just like more stable, and I haven't tried Blitz myself, so I can give opinions over that. I will stay for Next.js right now.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're the guinea pig for us all, so we don't have to spend time trying it out. We do have a few questions from the Discord community. The first one is from Jay Schmeezy. Form state isn't so bad. I think this was talking about what it was talking about managing state. Form state isn't so bad, but what about validation? Do you use a validator?
Oh yeah, so those form states I was talking about, they also provide validation too. So that's why I said I recommended those tools for Make. They provide validation also, so they might help you with complex form states.
Nice. I hope you're happy with that, Jay Schmeezy. Another question is from Jay Schmeezy again. Would you choose the Next 12 middleware over Next Connect at the moment? And at the moment, let's just consider that 2022.
Next Connect, I haven't seen that recently, but I have seen the Next.js middleware. It looks very promising, so I don't know Next Connect. I will go for Next middleware.
Yeah, fair enough. Guani Boy asks, what projects did you build in order to learn Next.js? And he's wondering if you could dive into the advantages of it over raw React. But I think you did spend some time over that. The fact that it offers you a lot of things out of the box that you don't have to worry about, like routing and all that. So yeah, but what did you build in order to get the hang of Next.js?
So one of my projects was this, like Hans Zimmer was one of my first projects I built with Next.js, and like right off the box, I was able to see how easy it makes with React.js. I think I need to reread the question. What
Was
project
it
did you
just
build?
was it just a to-do list app you made, or something full blown?
No, it was just a simple website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
Like
Uh,
the favorite thing about I like about Next.js that it just provide you the awesome DX, plus it will make the experience for the end user like crazy good. Like for example, performance bundling. Like it is hard to know about how to carefully optimize your application for the end user, like code splitting, and then caching the results, caching the pages itself, how to carefully render each page. Is the page should be SSR, is the page should be ISR, and then all this Next.js just provides. Like you can just with a few lines of code, you can convert that page into SSR or a static generation.
Yeah, it's a lot less to
So yeah,
hand roll, and you don't have to get 12 different libraries just to do all that.
yes, yes.
We have another question about chakra, actually. What specific issue, and this is a question from Titan and also from myself, what specific issues did you have over the alternative solutions to Radix and Stitches? And did you try other ones besides Tailwind and Chakra?
Like no, I haven't. Like on this current state, I've used style components previously, but this is the area I'm in. Chakra, I've tried Chakra, Tailwind CSS, and Stitches and Radix, and no more than that, other than styled components, which is older.
And how would you weigh up Chakra with Radix?
Like thing I kind of didn't like about Chakra UI is that its bundle size is huge, like 400 KB, and like I have this bundle phobia that I want my bundle size to be as low as possible. So even like if you go to bundle phobia and search for Chakra UI, I see that text components is over like 12 KB. I do not want to say that library is bad, library is really good. And I made this really massive application, a large scale application with Chakra UI, and it was performing fairly slow. Maybe I didn't done performance optimizations myself, or and I was also seeing that
Yeah, right.
bundle size were quite big.
Was that with after tree shaking as well?
Yes, tree shaking is default in Chakra UI, but
Yeah, right.
maybe it was a mistake from me, or it's just Chakra UI is a bit more heavier than it should be.
Well, given that you're a React developer, I'm going to ask you a cheeky one. Given that you're looking for any tool or framework that will make life easier, and especially with DX, what are your thoughts on using Svelte instead of React to make life easier?
Ye- Yes, like I had this like recent announcement that now Vercel is supporting Sleeve itself. Like I've other than React.js, Next.js, I've tried Vue and no other framework instead. So I'm also excited to try out Sleeve and how it works. But I'm just so happy with the Next.js itself. I don't want to move on.
Understandable. And the thing is, a certain tool might be 10% more, more helpful in a certain regard, but the build up to that, if you got to spend X amount of time to pick that up, then that just reverses all the efficiency you're going to gain anyway. So I think you're right. Use the right tool for the right job, and if something's working for you, if it ain't broke, stick with it.
Yes, I'm still excited for like Rust and WebAssembly. That's a way different, but that's
Absolutely.
another different tools I want to see.
Yeah.
Way
Well,
off topic.
I'm very keen for Rust as well. It's just it's kind of like with Svelte, finding the jobs for it or finding places for it. It's still building up steam, but it's definitely doing the right things. Okay, we have one last question. Since I brought up Svelte, we may as well finish the trifecta. Do you ever plan to try Vue? And this is a question from one of our moderators in training, Titan. The most important
Uh,
question, he says.
oh, okay. I have tried Vue in the past,
Hmm.
and again, do I want to revisit Vue.js? Probably not. Probably not. I will try Sleeve, sleeve is looking like quite good. Like I have no hate on Vue.js. I really like the experience in the Vue.js, like how you don't have to like these functions as you do in React. You can just tap in the file, go to like, it is more close to like vanilla HTML JS, how you write in
Yep.
vanilla HTML CSS. It is more close to Vue. That's what I really like about the Vue.js.
Yeah, same. All right. Well, once again, Saurabh, thank you very much for giving me the talk. Where can all these folks find you? Just once again, your Twitter.
Yes, I will send them link.
Yep.
Twitter.com/dinosaur.
LinkedIn, same username. Is there anywhere where someone's actually parked Dino Saurabh before you? Has that actually happened?
No, it's a
Excellent.
quite rare name. I'm
Very right.
lucky.
I think when I was very, very young, I had the misguided notion that I might be able to get the username Ron for a few accounts, but that definitely wasn't going to happen. All right, you've done that. So, if everyone watching, in case you didn't know at the start, didn't hear from at the start, this was Saurabh's very first talk, but it was very eloquent, very well spoken, and it covered exactly kind of things that we're looking for. Someone to take the time, who's done the research, who's spent the time to work out what works and what doesn't. So, once again, everyone, put your hands together, your digital hands together for Saurabh. On Discord, he is Dino Saurabh, and on Twitter and LinkedIn and his website as well is Dino Saurabh. Thank you, Saurabh, for giving us such a good talk.
Thank you so much. I hope the talk wasn't as lazy.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was by lazy developers for lazy developers, but the talk itself was spectacular, and it was a great way to round off the series.
So
So
it's,
thank you very
thank you so
much.
much. Thank you so much for watching this talk. I appreciate
Right.
it. Hope you have an amazing next year.
That's right. We may do this again. We'll see. We might do a different event. All right, Saurabh. Thank you for those questions. All right. This is the very last one. It is the end of the year. It's the end of the series. After 6 weeks, we hope that you've watched ones that have interested you. We hope you've gotten insight and advice from everyone. I'm very grateful that our speakers have chosen to speak from a wide range of concerns for us, and we did title it Ingenious Ways to Work Faster, Smarter, and Healthier because all those considerations matter a lot for developer productivity, whether it's imposter syndrome or your IDE or how you work with your employer. All those things come together to help your speed when writing code. You might think it's just your typing speed, but if your emotional well-being is impacted, that's lays a poor foundation for where you go from here. And there are 10 talks that we've shown you over 6 weeks, and I worked out if you can improve yourself by 1% every week, that's 68% over a whole years of self-improvement that you can get. So that goes a long way. That builds up, and you're not going to imbue all 10 talks of knowledge into your life and your coding working environment in these 6 weeks. Of course not. But hopefully, after seeing such a wide range of them, that you'll be able to find things that resonate with you, things that you remember, and especially for those of you who weren't able to catch all the talks, especially at this time of the year, they are all on our YouTube channel, which is there. That is our fancy YouTube link. Do check them all out. Our speakers did a great job putting together their research and their thoughts. So any that you've missed or any that you want to watch again, just go to youtube.com/redditweb to catch the rest of the talks. Once again, thank you so much from Bebo and myself. We're very glad that this was able to get off the ground. Thank you so much to Reddit for sponsoring us. All the speakers, they were paid through very generous sponsoring from Reddit and their community managers. So make sure you keep them in your mind for making this happen.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to one of the Reddit admins, Velicor. They were very helpful. This is sponsored by Reddit through the community funds initiative that they have. So
100%. You know, this wouldn't be, you know, the event it was without them. And yeah, all our speakers. If you follow our Twitter account, that one's us right there. Twitter.com/RedditWeb. We're following everyone who is on Twitter as well. We're sharing everyone's talks. So we wanted to give these speakers a platform, so do follow them. All their Twitter links are in our YouTube descriptions, but also they're followed by us on Twitter. We're running many different events. You may know that we have web jams where we get people to create a front-end coding project. Recently, we had someone win the food-themed web jam. We also did the Advent of Code this year with the leaderboard that just finished. In future, we might have more Discord stages discussions with people. Last time we had Kasidu speaking about getting a job in the dev industry. So yeah, do check us out. Follow us on Twitter. Take part in our Discord community. Check out our Reddit. We're all around. Find us wherever suits you, and hopefully we'll get you to join in more events in the future. So once again, thank you from both of us.
Bye.
Happy New Year.